Here it is, 5:31 PI, the station that brings Pacific people together. It is 6 minutes past 10 o'clock. Dr. Geoff Muduioa is from the Solomon Islands, trained in New Zealand, and currently works in Brisbane as a surgeon at the Mater Health Services with Queensland Health. Dr. Muduioa has been in the news in Australia lately for singing karaoke when treating and operating on his patients. Yes, you heard that right. A new meaning for the term musical theatre. Dr. Muduioa is on the line with us now, and we say hello. You how this morning, Doctor?
Taga tumas me good tumas maloi talo lafa bulavinaka kiorana and also to the one talk lo New Zealand. Me happy to come no show. Thanks for having me on the show.
It is our absolute pleasure. Now, before we talk about your singing prowess in your practice, tell us a little bit about Geoff Muduioa. Where were you born and what major roads have you turned down in the journey that is life for you, Doctor?
Okay, so thanks. I grew up in the Solomons. Then I came to school in New Zealand, in Nelson, did seventh form there, and then went to the University of Otago. So I was lucky. I was given a scholarship by at that time, New Zealand Overseas Student Assistant, when I did my university in Otago, and then did my surgical training in NZ. And then I left New Zealand about 10 years ago and came over to Brisbane, and was supposed to be temporary because we were in Christchurch after the earthquake. We want to go away for a year with the family, and we came to Brisbane. We just loved it here, and so here we are 10 years later.
Wow. How big is our Pacifica community there in Queensland, and the Solomon Islands one in particular?
But the Solomon is I think Brisbane has the biggest Solomon Islands community here in Australia, I would imagine, because one, the locals that are here, but also we have the seasonal workers who work around Brisbane area, up in Garton and up around the surrounds of South East Queensland. So quite a good sized population. For example, a couple of weeks ago, the Solomon Islands national team was playing a game of football, and the place was full of Solomon Islanders. It's like being in Honiara.
Now, we've heard about the rain and the flooding that happened there. We've got rain here in Auckland at the moment. But how did that affect you at all as a family?
Well, it doesn't affect my family personally, but there's a lot of some of our Pacifica community here that are affected. Like in my practice, I see a lot of Samoans, Tongans, Maori, Cook Islands that I see them a lot in my practice because I work on the south side of Brisbane, and most Kiwis, Samoans, Tongans, they live around the south side. So I often see them, and I build good relationships. Often they come and see me because they want to, I suppose I have that Pacific approach to talking about things, listening rather than putting people on the spot, or and I listen. And often if I want to say something to them, I just say in a way that they can, they understand.
Absolutely. Now, looking back on your life journey, were there others in your family who were doctors before you, or are you a pioneer in this space?
Well, I'm a pioneer in space, but I think coming to New Zealand, there was a good Pacific Island community there. I give credit to Kiki Moate, who is sitting in Christchurch, and George Nye that look after me really well. I suppose they're my mentors, Pacific Island surgeons in New Zealand, that I suppose they look after us, really, Pacific Island sort of a surgeon, so trainee. So I think my journey, a lot of people that helped me along the way, and for that, I'm so thankful.
Growing up as a young man, as a young boy in the Solomon Islands, where were you born? Where did you grow up? And did you ever imagine yourself to be working as a surgeon, as a doctor in Queensland all these years later as that young boy growing up?
Well, so I grew up in the village, right in the village. And nothing, I wouldn't believe if you asked me when I was growing up that I would be a surgeon in Queensland. for that matter. At one point, up to a couple of years ago, I was a director of one of the surgical units in South Brisbane. And when they asked me about my story, I said, you know what, if you asked me when I was a boy, I would never thought that I would be ending up doing what I do here in Queensland.
Now, singing to your patients, singing during surgery, it is not the first thing that comes to mind. When did you decide to use singing as a means of making your patients feel at ease?
Well, about 5-6 years ago, because my subspecialty training, I'm a breast cancer surgeon, and so it's very hard to talk to people about the diagnosis. And so sometimes when I don't have anything to say, I started singing to them, and then it just calms them down, and then we can get on. And because it can be awkward, especially young patients, and talking about, because when they're given that the cancer diagnosis, the majority of patients felt that the rug is pulled from under their feet, And I think for me, singing to their music, it just brings them that joy and happiness. And that's what the majority of patients said, that was the loveliest thing, is you singing to me and you're giving me hope, and which I keep on doing it. I see Pacific Islanders, we sing a lot, and it's just that musicality that we have. I think we should use it a lot more in what we do in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what was the reaction of the very first patient, and how nervous were you when you decided that you were actually going to sing that particular time to try it out? Did you take along your karaoke mic then that we've seen you on?
I did. At that time, I didn't have a karaoke mic. That karaoke mic was given to me by one of my registrars. She's now a fellow in Auckland and Middlemore. So Adrian Wilson, if you're listening to the show, I think your Pacific Island patients may tell you, but she bought me that microphone about 3 years ago when she was my trainee. And so that is when I started using it. But before that, I just sing just natural.
Yeah. I love that karaoke mic. You wouldn't happen to have that karaoke mic handy, would you?
Yes, I do. I got it right here. Do you want me to do a song?
You have got to do a song, Dr. Muduioa.
I will. I'll just bring it out here. I got it right here with me. It travels with me everywhere now. I'll see whether I can put it on.
The Bluetooth device
So it's going on.
ready to pair.
Now,
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Now, what should I sing you today?
Give us some reggae. You've got to sing us some reggae.
Okay, I'll do some reggae for you. Now I'll put on the thing on the music as well.
Absolutely.
So take this with me. Okay. Well, why don't I'll sing a Summer Island song. The Summer Islanders will recognize this.
Absolutely.
Oh, yo, 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 yo. Ooh. Well, again, I told you feel I'm not to live my mind. When you sing that song, I dance with the patients and I love it. So I live on the area. Just look at the road. It's my music. It's fine, yeah. And I'm my
Oh, Dr. Muduioa, that is absolutely fantastic. That is so cool. What a cool way just to bring life and joy into a consultation, because I'll tell you what, as a patient, going in to get a diagnosis, it is like going to see the headmaster. You feel like you've done something wrong and you're sitting there. My palms are sweating, finding out whether I'm going to be any better tomorrow. But then to have music, what has the reaction of your colleagues been?
Well, all of my colleagues, they they like you. And there's often, if I don't play the music, they say, "Oh, Geoff, what's wrong?" I said, "No, I'm just, So every time, if they know that when the music is playing, Geoff is in the house. And so, and it's just part of, I suppose if I don't play the music, then people say, "What's going on?" So that they expect when I'm there in theatre, I'm singing to patients, that's who I am. And I think it's something that, I mean, as I said in my interviews here, it doesn't matter whether we sing in key or out of key. It's the fact that you're doing it and patients love it. Because as you know, laughter is good medicine. Once people started laughing, and it's interesting, last week I had this an elderly guy. He said, when you come to me and sang me that country song, it just suits my spirit. And it's just a great experience that I've never had before in my life. It's just wonderful. Keep on doing. And he said, keep on doing what you're doing. And I said, you know what, that's great. If I can give just a little bit of joy, it's good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Will you ever be tempted to leave the surgical theatre for musical theatre?
Well, I never close any doors. Sometimes these things find us, if the door is open, I'm more than happy to. But as I said, at this point in time, my calling is surgery. And if I can do music in surgery, I'm doing that. But as I said, never close any doors. That's what we are. We just, if once doors are open, you go for it. What we make out of it, that's important. And that's why I say I got a lot of Pacific Island students that I talk to as well. You know what? You could be whatever you want. Just aim high and go for it. Just look at me. I said, look at me. Who would believe that someone like me would be a surgeon here in Brisbane and in New Zealand? But if you got your mind to it, we can do anything. And I said, so just don't let circumstances stop you from doing anything, because you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. As you look back now, that young boy who was born and grew up in the village in the Solomon Islands, looking at the world and thinking, oh my goodness, I am just a speck in this universe without any power. Looking back at that young boy, what advice would you give him, which would be the same advice that some young boy listening now might need to just inspire him to be the best that he or she can be?
Just take every opportunity that is given to you. If it means you're leaving your family to go for it. And at the end, you will get the rewards, because everything is, the world is an oyster for all of us. We just have to take those opportunities. Sometimes the hardships are the best thing that we can learn from. Help give us the resilience to go forward and be the best person we could be in our lives.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Dr. Geoff Muduioa, it has been my absolute pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much for agreeing to chat with us. Thank you so much for inspiring all of us to be the best that we can be. And thank you for your time. We wish you all the best, and we look forward to perhaps catching up again in a year or so.
Thank you very much, Ete, for having me on the show, and it is my pleasure. Next time I come back to NZ, I'll look you up.
Absolutely, you have got to do that. You have
definitely.
My wife loves karaoke, so she will definitely want to be there as well.
That's good. No, thank you very much for reaching out and thinking that I could be, part of this big Pacific Island network.
The pleasure is all ours. Dr. Geoff Muduioa, Consultant General Breast and Endocrine Surgeon at the Mater Health Services with Queensland Health and Metro South Health Services. Thank you very much for your time. You're listening to Early Edition with Ete. That was Dr. Geoff Muduioa. And this is 5:31 PI, bringing Pacific people together. Here is Jaro Local with Takini Tanga.